It's the Muppet Show with our special guest star. No, I'm ditching this joke. No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Hi.
Abort.
We're done with this. Hi. Hello there. Neil the Frog here. I'm joined by Jackie Bear. Say hi, Jackie Bear.
Waka.
Fucking what Muppet should Cher be? Shit. Miss Sherry. Say hi, Cher. And
Bonjour.
Fuck. Mel, do you want to be Gonzo?
Sure, why not?
And Melzo. I'm just looking at Jack in his top hat, nodding disapprovingly. Welcome everybody to Disney Plus Pals. I am me. I'm Nermit. Nermit the Frog. Welcome. Today we will be talking about Muppets Haunted Mansion, the crossing of the streams.
Talking about Muppets Haunted Mansion when it's not Halloween.
You can't tell, but I've got 2 middle fingers up.
If I had it my way, it'd be Halloween all year round. Let's be real.
Or Christmas.
Amen.
Christmas is a nice holiday too.
Polar opposites, those two. Mm-hmm. And yet we keep trying to push them together.
Well, that's when Nightmare Before Christmas is.
I mean,
yeah,
true. I might be a little bit of a Muppets fan, maybe. I don't know. Maybe just a little.
Little is an understatement.
One of my favorite movies is the original Muppet movie. Tick, Tick, Boom made it go down from number 1 to probably like number 2, but I love that fucking movie. And I have a very special place in my heart for this one, because I also love the Haunted Mansion. I like Disney rides in general. I'm a huge nerd for theme park ride lore. So, like, yeah, it's cool we finally get to talk about theme park rides again, because it's been a hot minute. Have any of you guys rode the Haunted Mansion?
I was too scared.
No.
Well, I on my most recent trip, I rode it a couple of times, and I gotta be real, the animatronics are great in it. Like, they look so cool. It's creepy. I also played Luigi's Mansion as a child, so I feel like I am uniquely qualified to talk about cool ghost designs.
Well, I also like Earl's Ravencroft. He's really nice and a good singer.
I mean, fair.
So, fun fact, not so fun fact, it's been a while since I've been on one of these, but my bucket list is to go on the Haunted Mansion one of these days. I did used to live by it at one point. Mm-hmm. I never went to Disney World anyway.
I mean, that is very fair. This ride is cool as shit. There's a reason it has not one, but a second movie coming out soon, and this special based off of it. Did you guys see the Eddie Murphy movie?
I did.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
Probably when I was little, I probably liked it, but it's okay now, just because of some of the jokes are kind of meh. But you know, Eddie Murphy, he was fine. I know like what Neil said, there's supposed to be another Haunted Mansion movie coming out this year
with Danny DeVito.
Oh, I did not know
I have more faith in that one than the Eddie Murphy one, because I think it's one of those ones where it's like, when you're a kid, you probably liked it, but I feel like it's one of those that are a representation of movies sometimes don't age well.
Like Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
My opinion of that movie is, first of all, the set design is beautiful. That's the biggest compliment I can give it. That one funeral scene is gorgeous. That scene's really cool, too. And I think this might just be a me thing, but there's this one scene where I can't remember the plot stuff for it, but I think the owner of the house is yelling at Eddie Murphy's wife and telling him, you're the reincarnation of my wife,
yeah,
whatever the story
like,
was.
Yeah.
And then...
obviously the butler Why is the butler always evil in
Oh,
every
real
movie?
fast to finish my thought. There's this one scene from the ride where there are all of these people dancing. It's referenced in this special too. The ghosts appear and start dancing around them while he's screaming about how she's like the reincarnated ghost. That is the one scene in the movie where I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's a cool scene. Like, that's so beautiful. I That whole movie is kind of worth it for me for that one scene. So I kind of have a soft spot for it. I'll be real.
So I think that's where we're the opposites, because even though I've never been on the ride ever, but I've always had a soft spot for the Haunted Mansion specifically, not only because I want to go, so people link my PayPal and shit, so that way I can just show them the fucking list down below. But anyway, but I've also too like learned a lot from it, especially like this is gonna make me sound my age, but there was a lot of like stuff before that movie came out that talked about like the Haunted Mansion lore. So I'm actually the opposite on you, where it's like I feel like I can't have a soft spot for it because I felt like it was just a gimmick at the time, where they kind of botched a lot of the lore that went to the Haunted Mansion ride.
I can't
That's
really
just
argue with that.
Yeah. So it's one of those where it's just like I think it was great for those who were kids, you know, and especially I felt like it was in a weird transition, like coming out on Disney Channel at the time. Because Disney Channel at the time, I think, was like going through like where it was doing more live action stuff versus like cartoons. So I felt like it was a product of the time, but it has aged well. Not really.
Did this come out before or after Pirates? Because Pirates is okay. Because Pirates is like the big, like, oh my god, the big masterpiece theme park movie. Like I think we can all agree, Pirates of the Caribbean, Purse of the Black Pearl. Oof, that's a good movie. But what? Did you say something?
I know. I said it was a really good movie, and then my parents wanted to watch Jungle Cruise, and that was, yeah.
I'm okay with Jungle Cruise. I like it all right.
I haven't seen it.
I feel like Pirates of the Caribbean though had more to it than just the ride, since a lot of characters were based on like actual like mythos of the pirate scene back in the day. So I felt like it was more flexible, and I think that's why Pirates of the Caribbean became such a successful franchise when it came to like Disney rights versus like Eddie's Haunted Mansion, where there's just like it's their own personal lore, and there's not really much they could go off with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus,
so that's why.
Yeah. Plus, with Pirates, it's one of my favorite Johnny Depp roles. It's just iconic. Like even in the later ones, I know it's not as good as like the first two or first three, but he still has some funny moments. I mean, just a little bit. I wish he came back. I want him to come back.
I am decently okay with most of the other pirate movies, but like that first one is just that's chef's kiss for me. But
isn't it right?
We are not here to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean on this day. Maybe in the future. Maybe we'll end up on a theme park kick. But today we are here to talk about the beautiful crossing of the streams. Get it? 'Cause ghosts. That is the Muppets Haunted Mansion. This blew my...
I should have worn my Ghostbusters jacket. That's what I should have done.
Go get it. Go get it right now, Jack. Leave. It's okay. You can go.
It's in a different room. I'm not standing up.
I'm sad you took off the top hat. You look so sophisticated. All your jokes had like an extra twist to it.
I would.
Yeah, plus Fozzie was
No, you're fine. You don't have to wear it if you don't want to.
Well, I guess I probably should take off my beret then.
I'm keeping my beanie. You can't make me take off my green beanie. It's not easy being green, and I'm living it.
Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Boo.
So this show is remarkable for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's the first big Muppet project in a while, and it did get a lot of attention from what I remember. It is finally the Muppets doing a Halloween episode, which they've been trying to do for a very long time. Apparently, after Muppets Christmas Carol, that was originally the first pitch. Yeah, someone's gone.
Oh no! No!
We'll truck on. She'll be back,
He
hopefully.
died. He died.
Oh my god. It's okay. Hopefully she'll be back. But, just to finish my thought, which is mostly gone now, it is also the final film to feature Ed Asner, or Osner. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but if you don't recognize that actor, that is Carl from Up.
No!
He plays, I believe, Cousin Claude, one of the ghosts in the cemetery. It is his last appearance.
Oh my god!
I mean,
A fun non-speaking role.
it's still a hell of a movie to go out on. I still think this
God.
is like a good movie.
Sorry
I can't
about
watch
that,
Welcome
guys.
back, Mel.
I got like a call.
You are
So-
okay. We shall truck on.
Right.
But
What did I miss in those couple seconds?
but
Why
with
is Cher?
what was that?
Go ahead. I say, why is Cher crying?
Well, I just informed her that this is actually the last film to feature Ed Asner, who played Carl in Up. He plays one of the ghosts, Brother Claude. Be sad, Cher. Be sad. But I think this is a fine special. I really liked it. There's some weird ass cameos in it. Darren Criss appears in this at some point.
He's so hot.
I mean, guys, I have a little bit of a hidden shame to reveal here on Disney Plus Pals. I watched Glee, and I liked it.
Really?
When I was a kid, I liked it. I haven't seen it
The
recently.
reason I thought you wouldn't like it, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because like the
It's a
controversy.
bunch of people singing and like having drama. What would I not like about Glee?
Leo Michelle.
Don't get me wrong, there's plenty to hate about Glee. And I'm sure if I rewatched it now, I'd probably be like,
Mr. Schuster.
no.
Mr. Schuster.
You don't like the Grinch?
Schuster. Rachel. Rachel.
You don't like Glee, do you, Cher?
I actually love Glee because Idina Menzel was in it.
Fair. I liked it because Darren Criss was in it, and I love Darren Criss.
He's hot.
He is hot.
I never watched it.
Good
Well,
for you.
I literally only watched it because it was like one of the first things Darren Criss was in. He was in a Harry Potter musical parody, which is hilarious.
Oh, Potter. Oh, yeah, the Potter.
A Harry Potter musical.
A Harry
The
Potter
Only
musical.
musical where you can hear Harry Potter calls Professor Snape a butt trumpet. The only one!
Oh, I love a Potter musical, a Harry Potter musical. Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
It's very funny. And the best part, J.K. Rowling got no money from it.
Yay!
Let's fuck her. Wait, what?
Yes. But continuing with Muppet Haunted
Muppets
Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
Boo.
Just to go around a little bit, how did we... Jack, do you have any notes for us this time?
Nope.
Okay, does anyone have notes for... Mel, I think you had notes, actually, right?
I do, except for just to let everybody know I've only seen this movie once, tried watching it again, but shit came up, so. So I always thought this is Muppets as a show in general is one of those few that can adapt with the times.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's why it's a beloved classic. That's why you see them still featured in like commercials. And everybody knows the Muppets. You can be like any age demographic at this point and know what the Muppets are. So I thought, because I watched the film back like when it first came out, and I thought it was actually, in my opinion, it was a better adaptation than the Eddie Murphy one.
Oh, I agree.
Sure. And two, like, with Muppets, like, because fun fact, not so fun fact, my favorite, like, special still is A Muppet Christmas Carol, and I feel like Haunted Mansion gave me like the same vibes as that of being like you can take like any subject matter with the Muppets and make it in a Muppety way, and it
Yeah.
works. It surprisingly always works every fucking time.
My favorite is Muppet Treasure Island for a very specific reason. That's probably obvious.
Tim Curry.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Tim.
I was gonna ask why. I didn't get that joke. My favorite Muppets thing? God. Oh, God.
Yeah, Muppet expert. What's your favorite?
I'm not an expert. Don't make me out to be the Muppet historian over here. But
Well,
Fanatic.
you were the one
I'm a
saying that you
Muppet
were an
fanatic.
expert.
because I played Luigi's Mansion, I'm talking about ghosts. I like ghosts.
There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who are you gonna call?
Luigi.
Yeah.
It's a go. So God, it's really hard to pick between the original Muppet movie and a Great Muppet Caper, because a Great Muppet Caper is funnier, and it's like got so much comedy in it. Like, Jesus Christ, that movie makes me laugh just thinking about it. But
Right.
the Muppet movie has so much heart, and it's like this great story of these characters coming together to achieve their dream. So probably the first Muppet movie, but I love Great Muppet Caper. Jack, do you have a favorite Muppet shit?
Yeah, for me, favorite Muppets movie. I'm agreeing with Mel here. It's A Christmas Carol.
It's
And
one of their
it's also one
best.
of my favorite versions of A Christmas Carol as well.
Same.
My
Same.
other favorite Muppet thing, and it's purely because it has very little to do with Muppets, is the Pigs in Space show where David Tennant came out as the Doctor.
Oh, I did love that, though. It was
That's
really
awesome.
funny because all the Muppets got to dress up as, like, each Doctor.
Yeah.
Kind of
I think-
reminiscent of what they do in here with the Haunted Mansion ghosts.
I think
Yeah.
the first time I've heard or I saw the Muppets was during that time. It was like probably like the mid to late 2000s where Disney Channel was like Disney Channel stars, like former like Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, Demi, the Jonas Brothers. They're
Yeah.
interacting with the Muppets in a very weird way, and yeah, I still kind of like watching those, and like with like the Sprouse twins, and I
Well,
saw
that's what I. Well, that's what I. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh yeah, like when Demi was doing when like the first Camp Rock movie came out and Demi was singing "This Is Me" with a Muppet.
Right, and I think that's what I mean by like the Muppets just in general, like they're so iconic and that they're so universally like
They're timeless.
yeah, exactly, that's the word, timeless. They're so timeless that it can fit into any type of genre almost. And I feel like that's why like Haunted Mansion like gave me more of the Christmas Carol vibes. It's just to prove that of being like you can take almost any subject matter with the Muppets and make it Muppety.
Mm. It is also kind of a loaded story. I mean, Gonzo kind of has an arc in it.
Mm.
I mean, we can go detail in detail, and if anyone wants to talk about specific scenes they liked, I'm sure we can touch on that.
I think the one I will agree with a lot that I liked, and I think it's just because like I've always liked Gonzo as a character, especially like in recent years where people have been trying to touch like on Gonzo's lore a lot more. Like, for example, I do like the fact that like Gonzo is canonically non-binary now because we love that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it happened in
Oh,
Muppet Babies.
Mhm.
Oh wait, the new Muppet Babies?
Yes.
A few years ago. Yeah.
Oh shoot, I did not know that.
It was all in the news. Fox hated it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that's
What don't
Fox.
they? What
Fox
don't
is
they?
That's not a
garbage.
surprise.
Right, and Fox is garbage.
Oh, yes.
Opinion. But yeah, but like I did like the fact that like Gonzo got a lot of lore in this movie. I think that's my favorite part of the movie. From what I remembered from it was I did remember specifically because Gonzo has always been my favorite character out of all the Muppets.
So I was right to make you Melzo.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
win
why I
for
was like,
Neil. Or Nermit. Fuck, I'm breaking the lore.
Yeah.
God
My,
damn it, Neil,
my
don't
favorite
break
when I was little, my favorite was Miss Piggy, just because I love everything girly.
I'm a
And then
basic bitch. My favorite Muppet has been Kermit. Always been Kermit.
But yeah, Kermit's now my personal favorite as well. But I
Oh,
know
nice.
Favorite,
High five.
favorite
We're
main
both
Muppet
basic
animal.
bitches. My hand's the wrong way.
especially
Okay.
I remember when Kermit appeared on The Masked Singer as a snail.
I do have a question, and it does pertain to the special. Before we start going in scene by scene, the new Kermit voice. Are we all okay with it?
Oh, I didn't realize it was a new Kermit voice.
Okay, so Cher didn't notice. All right, that's good. That means he's doing a good job. I
Wait,
notice.
is it Mr. Vogel? Is
It's
it
Matt
Matt
Vogel.
Vogel? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
AKA the guy who we had a whole movie about where it's like, that guy kind of doesn't sound like Kermit at all. With the Constantine joke, of course. I think maybe if they hadn't done that movie, it'd be easier to like go, oh, you're the new Kermit. But like every time he speaks, I hear Constantine. I swear to God, I hear Constantine, and it makes me feel weird about it. But like he's not doing a bad job. Was that?
yeah, no, I got the same vibe when I watched it. Was I recognized him instantly as Constantine?
Hmm.
At first, like I feel like yes, like nobody can ever replace like the voice actors who came before, but I don't think he's doing like a bad job.
Me
Like
neither.
it could be reverse. You could be getting Chris Pratt to voice him.
Oh God, we do live
Don't
in
give
that
them
world.
ideas. Don't give them ideas.
I will say when he was like singing the song, the whole "Welcome to the Life Hereafter," he sounded better there.
Yeah.
It's just when he's like
Right.
going, "Hey Gonzo," it doesn't sound right to me at all.
Here you go.
Right.
But yeah,
But
oh, go
I
ahead. Mel.
still stand by. I still stand by being like they could have picked somebody worse, because
Oh
like
yeah.
that's also too bound to happen. Is being like unfortunately like voice actors that we get to know and love, you know, don't always play the role anymore. And I think like people need to like understand that of being like, well, it's not like we have the immortality like fountain of youth to keep these people around forever, unfortunately. But it's like as long as you don't set your expectations of being like, I don't think that any voice actors meant to replace them in that sense, but just to pass the torch and being like, because they're big shoes to fill. So I thought that they could have picked like way worse.
Oh, of course.
Voice actors are underrated. I met one a few weeks ago. He's awesome. I love you, Richard.
That could be any Richard. You could be
Horvitz.
talking about Richard Kind right now.
Richard Horvitz.
Although Richard Kind has a funny voice. Anyways, let's dig in a little bit. So, obviously the plot is Gonzo is neglecting the other Muppets because he wants to go do something spooky.
Creepy and ooky. Mysteriously spooky.
I do. Here's the thing. I will say this. I want to give one more compliment before going straight into a scene. This might be the funniest thing with Pepe in it for me. Like,
Yeah.
Pepe has a Muppet isn't the most funny for me. Honestly, I kind of wish they would have done what they did with Muppet Christmas Carol. I wish it would have been Gonzo and Rizzo. But
I do. Rizzo.
in this one, Gonzo and Pepe kind of work because Pepe needs to be like really terrified in this special. And when he does like his mouth agape, open, scared face, that puppet looks fucking hilarious. Plus, like, it's weird to think about Rizzo getting charmed by the wife, the bride character, the constant hatchaway.
Taraji P. Henson. Yeah, Taraji P. Henson.
But that fits Pepe's character perfectly. So, like, I get why they use Pepe.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
I do miss Rizzo, though. I truly do. But he's in Muppets Babies, so who knows? Maybe he'll pop up again. And he's in this. He has a small cameo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just shows up and talks to that other female rat from the ABC show.
Right. I think that was the only thing I did not like was I did not like the fact that they went with Pepe over Rizzo, but I think it's just because like a lot of us know that Gonzo and Rizzo most of the time are like a really good like comedy duo. Like I think shit, I'm spacing their names because they're like my second favorite characters, the elderly guys
Stantler and
in the
Waldorf.
most. Yes, thank you, Stan.
After
Ah,
Kermit, they're my favorite.
oh yeah, no. But yeah, but besides those two, you know, Gonzo and Rizzo are like, in my opinion, like the second most great comedy duo out of the Muppets, in my personal opinion. But
Mm.
I do agree with you being like Pepe worked, but I only disagree being like they could have done Rizzo doing all that. Just because of being like, if you look back on like a lot of his roles, he is kind of a degenerate. So I think that would have worked with him being charmed.
Rizzo is
Because,
very good for slapstick.
right. But
Hey.
I didn't think that Pepe was a bad choice.
Mm.
But I would have preferred Rizzo.
Well, let's jump into the first song that happens then. Sung by Darren Criss.
He's hot.
He is hot. I can't argue with that.
He's all right.
Fair enough.
You and I are gonna have a chat after the stream, Jack.
I didn't want sleep.
I liked this song. What's it called exactly?
Rest in peace.
Okay. I like this song a lot. I like that they implemented the actual tombstones from the Haunted Mansion and stuff. I think Darren Criss sounds bad. Did I say bad? Sounds good. I meant to say good.
I think we can twist that being like, you mean bad as in good, not bad as in bad.
Yeah, he's bad as in good, I guess. Although this scene has kind of gotten ruined for me a little bit because Tony Goldmark, a podcaster I like who also reviewed this movie, he said that his fan cast for the guy outside of the ride who holds the lantern, the old man who looks over the mansion, was Weird Al, and now Weird Al has white in his hair, and he's an older looking guy, and I'm like, damn it, Tony, that's a good casting. I wish it would have been him now, but like, I still love Darren. It's just trading a Neil thing I love for a Neil thing God, I love Weird Al. Call me. Answer my calls, Weird Al.
Weird Al is awesome. I haven't watched too much of Milo Murphy's Law, but he's really funny in that.
Oh, Milo Murphy's Law is great. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, now knowing that, like, I still don't think that like he did a bad job. I'm just wondering if we were to have a version of Will Al, if it would have been better.
I mean, it's Al,
Because
so yes.
Well, yeah, and also
Yeah.
to be like, but the only thing I'm concerned about is because like since the Muppets are timeless, that doesn't speak for like everything else. Is that I'm not saying that he would be a bad choice, but if a lot of people would get that was Weird Al.
Yeah, I think if you had Weird Al in it, it would detract from the Muppets. I think because people go, it's Weird Al. So equally, I think if Weird Al was going to be in this, you have him be Will Arnett's character.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. Although Will Arnett was great in this too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, agreed.
So
I just think
if you get Weird Al in it, you get as much out of him as you can.
Right. I think that Weird Al nowadays is a little bit niche for some. If it's not an insult by any means, it's just being like, well, unless like you grew up the way that like a lot of us did with Weird Al, I felt like he would have been a good choice for me, but would other people get him?
Well,
you know what I mean?
He did just have a movie come out, so maybe people would get it. I don't know about the youngins. I don't know about the young kids of today, but who knows? Maybe.
I'm remembering, I don't know if any of you guys have seen Close Enough. J.G. Quintel now did regular show. It's his newer show. Weird Al has a cameo in that. And they introduce him. He's like, they're in the middle of the woods, and he just shows up. Like, America's only respected comedy songwriter, Weird Al Yankovic.
The fact that they had to explain.
Did you guys recognize all of the celebrities that were to
No.
go?
I did
I
not.
only recognize.
I recognize like 5.
I recognize Danny Trejo making his Muppets cameo. I think I've talked about this in other videos, but Danny Trejo loves the Muppets. He adores them. So I'm glad that he gets to keep coming back in this. And it's really cool to see the big buff machete hanging out with Fozzie Bear and shit.
Yeah.
I know Sky Jackson was in it. She was like one of the Tombstone people, the little heads.
Mhm.
Proper.
Yeah.
Those
She was
look
the best.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was one of the best. But I think the ones that made me happy was seeing Yvette Nickel Brown,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Will Arnett, Alfonso. I always fuck up his last name, so
John
but
Stamos.
everyone
John Stamos, yeah.
and John Stamos. I was actually surprised, but at the same time not surprised, just because like I know he's featured in Weirder. I was actually shocked of Danny Trejo being the person being in it,
This
but
is
not surprised because he is one of those where it's like he gets typecasted for certain roles like a lot. But so when I see him in something like the Muppets, it makes me smile of being like, okay, you can be in something as fun as the Muppet.
he was a prisoner in Muppets Most Wanted as well. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
at this point, like I gotta wonder, what did Danny Trejo do in the Muppets universe? Like
He must have did something.
Yeah.
Or it could just be as simple as he gets typecasted a lot in those particular roles.
Well, hey,
Well-
as long as it's not anything like that one Muppet, like that one puppet mystery, weird comedy movie, I'm okay with. Murder. Yeah. What movie was that? That was so weird.
the Happy Murder or something?
I think
Yeah.
so.
See, we don't even remember the title.
I didn't even watch it. I'll be real. I love Muppets, but like it
So
didn't.
I'm gonna go on a weird tangent about it. So Happy Murder Muppets, I've only seen once and only once because I feel like it's one of those lessons where it's just like you should never always count on the trailers, right? And especially I watched the more infamous and the more fucked up Meet the Feebles, where
That
Happy
movie
Murder
terrifies
Muppets
me.
is extremely disappointing. Especially being like if you're gonna make something like puppets adult, you know, like as much as Meet the Feebles has traumatized me in no ends of the earth, but it's like you go big or you go home.
I think one good example of that would be Avenue Q. I actually do like Avenue Q.
I like Avenue.
Yeah,
Wicked lost to puppets.
right. Like Avenue Q like worked versus like that, but that's my tangent for Happy Time Murders, just because like I found it disappointing, especially being like I watched Meet the Feebles first, then watch this, and I was like, at least Meet the Feebles, as much as it's traumatizing, it's memorable and it did its job.
This is the last thing that I demand this to be the last thing said about Meet the Feebles on this channel. I've seen the trailer for Meet the Feebles and one review of it. I am terrified of Meet the Feebles. I swear to God I am. The puppets look scary to me. They look scary. There's blood in it. I will never watch Meet the Feebles unless someone pays me to do it.
Wait, what's Meet the Feebles?
Cher?
Sher,
Look,
Sher,
you're
Sher.
Cher. You are in the same
Sher.
situation I was in, where I was asking, "What's Meet the Feebles?" Take my advice. Heed my warning. Don't watch the trailer.
So,
Don't.
so Sher,
That's what That's what I learned about Saw and It.
Mm,
Yeah, okay.
just
Sher, the only
don't watch it.
I would say being like, yes, if you want to keep your innocence a little bit, listen to Neil. But my best advice with that is if you plan on seeking it out, don't do what Eli and I did, because we watched it like back in like 18 when I was still homeless and shit, right? For a Stardust reaction. My best advice is to be like, do not watch trailers, read a synopsis about it first, see if it's up your speed. Don't dive straight in and don't have your expectations up. It is a fucked up movie.
A
It
friend
really
of
is.
mine watched it drunk, and I heard him scream like a lady in a horror movie at one point.
Oh, okay. So
It's not
pretty.
scary. It's just it's just
It's just really messed up. I'm just gonna make it short and sweet. It's really messed up. But in comparison to Happy Time Murders, in my opinion, being like, if you're gonna go adult with any type of puppetry, you kind of go Meet the Feebles, except for, and this is like just a cap on my take. Meet the Feebles would not pass by today's standards. I'll tell you that. It's very adult and a lot of its subject matter. Whereas Happy Time Murders really underplayed it, but I think it's because Meet the Feebles got away with their shit because of when it was released. Versus like now where it's like, yeah, even if Happy Time Murders wanted to, they couldn't go all out like Meet the Feebles.
And let me make this clear. I'm not against puppet horror. I love Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
There we go.
But that movie...
Wait, what's that?
As the British
Cher-
person in
Cher-
the room, I have been waiting.
What's that?
Cher you might not want to look that up either. It's literally Sesame Street if Sesame Street was a horror movie.
Oh.
Okay, that's another good one that I feel like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is the equivalent of Meet the Feebles when it comes to like adult. Right.
The better
Like,
Meet the Feebles, if you will.
That's fair, but I feel like with those two, it's being like that's how you do adult puppets, in my opinion. You go big, or you go home, and that's where I felt like Happy Time Murders failed. Was being like it tried meeting somewhere in the middle, which made it being like very underwhelming. But it's also to being like, since we're talking about just Muppets, it being like, in my personal opinion, being like Happy Time Murders would have been better if it was just turned into like another Muppets movie.
But,
my opinion.
You know, there's nothing remarkable about Meet the Feebles. It's not like anyone famous worked on it. I mean, who's the director of Meet the Feebles? Couldn't be anyone that big, just a little-known director called Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wait, that Peter Jackson?
That Peter Jackson.
That Peter Jackson, the one that did
the Hobbit movies.
Oh.
But back into it. So
yeah, I don't do well with horror.
Well, to be fair, Muppets Haunted Mansion is not horror. It's just kind of spooky.
Where were we? That was it. On the Danny Trejo point about being like typecast and stuff. I think Danny Trejo's just at that point in his career where people just come to him and say, "Hey, do you want to be in Star Wars?" And, yeah, I'll put on a costume and stand on a green screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Danny Trejo, like, I found this out a couple years ago. He just acts for free in student film. He'll just like send mail to his agent to him, being like, yeah, this is a project I'm working on for getting my degree. Would you be in it? He's like, yeah, I'll come film for a day.
Danny Trejo might be one of the coolest people in Hollywood. Because, like, he's such a successful actor at this point, and he's popping up in everything. And he also just runs a taco shop because he wants to sell tacos.
Yeah, I think the first time it's probably going to be obvious. I think the very first time I saw him in anything was the Spy Kids movie.
Oh, same. Same, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's obvious, but
I think that is for a lot of us.
I adore Danny Trejo.
I like the first two. I do not like the last two. I like the first two Spy Kids. I do not like the last two.
Well, what last two?
Fuck you guys. I like Spy Kids 3.
I don't really like it.
It was trash.
I will defend
Is that the video
Kids
game
3.
one?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Spy Kids,
okay.
Spy Kids 3 game over.
I like Spy Kids 3. I think it's alright.
What about Spy Kids all the time in the world?
No, we don't talk about Bruno.
There are
But
three
anyways,
Spy Kids movies.
They go inside
Like,
the mansion.
I can't
and they
wait
meet,
for Indiana
Will
Jones
Archer.
4 to come out, guys. Indiana
Oh,
Jones
sorry.
4 is coming out this year.
Wait,
Correct.
what? I just interrupted you. Wait, what? What's going on?
Indiana Jones 4 is coming out. The fourth one. The newest fourth
Right.
movie that there is
They,
only
they made
four
I
they
of.
made
thought
3,
Indiana
and they
Jones
waited a long
5.
time, and now no.
Chad, you're stern that no. Kingdom
Are
of the
you
Crystal
sure it's not
what
the older
now?
one of the group?
Although sadly, apparently it's going to be John Williams' last film.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It is, yeah.
Sad day in cinema, that film. But honestly, movie looks good. I hope it's great. Hope it's a great
I
send-off
don't
to
have
John
any-
Williams. So,
I doubt it will be. But anyway, back to Muppets.
we're introduced to Will Arnett, and they do the stretching room parody, which I think is great. Putting fucking Crazy Harry in the place of the guy on the fucking Team T barrel. Perfect. I love all the pigs stacked on top of each other. Such a funny scene.
It really is.
Well, the stretching room is one of the most iconic parts of the Haunted Mansion ride. Like, it's literally where you
Right.
get the intro speech and the whole, then I give you this challenge to find a way out. But remember, there's always my way. And then it shows, like, the body, and it's truly the scariest thing in all of Disney World, in my opinion. They didn't show the body, which I think is good, because this is Muppets.
You could have done, like, I don't know,
I think they could.
stuffing or something.
I think at the most, like I think what they could have done was be like not show the body like completely, but given like a little bit of like a shot of like maybe the legs or maybe like a hand, like kind of paying homage to like older films that would not show the body like 100%, like example like Snow White. You get this scene where she bites the poison apple because everyone should know about the story at this point, you know, and you just see her arm go limp behind the table. You don't actually see her body. So I feel like that would have been made it better, being like, oh, maybe show like a leg or maybe show like a hand, like similar to that.
You know what I wish would have happened now? Because I wish they would have panned up there to show it, and then you just see animals sleeping up there and snoring. or like...
Oh, that would have been funny.
Yeah. Or like the
It
chalk
would've-
outline, like a crime scene, like a
Yeah.
recognizable Muppet or something.
It would have been funny if it was like, there's always my way. It shows Animal up there and he just breaks a window and jumps out the mansion. That would have been really funny.
Oh yeah, but I did like the fact that they showed that, since it is one of the most popular things about that ride, where I felt like, unlike the Eddie Murphy one, where they were just like, you know, like, oh, we're just showing that this was attraction type of feel, where unlike that one, this one is just like, no, we actually want to give you the lore
Yeah, pretty much.
with Muppets.
They put zero effort into Eddie Murphy.
Was the stretching room even in the Eddie Murphy movie?
No.
I can't remember it.
No,
I don't think
so.
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Well, they had to sing songs about mausoleums and keys. That was much more important.
I want to jump on the idea of animals jumping out the window. Like, there's always my way out. Because that's what they do. That's how they get out at the end of the film. They jump out a window.
Then Animal's just outside, and he's like,
Yeah.
"See, it works."
No, just as like a funny bit of like foreshadowing of there's always my way out. Animal jumps out a window, and at the end they jump out a window. It's a wee thing.
Right.
This is the second Haunted Mansion movie to feature someone breaking through a window.
To the window, to the window, to the
There's a
wall.
lot.
So
Wow.
then they do a couple spooky gags. Pepe starts getting all scared. You need to build it up. You need to do some of these gags. Then we get to the John Stamos scene.
John Stamos.
I'm curious about this scene because I mean, you got John Stamos. Of course, he's going to get a bigger cameo than some of the other people.
Oh yeah.
But like, the scene itself is so weird to me because he just walks in. John Stamos is just there, not explained why. He's just there to hang out with Pepe, and he's like, "Hey, I want to show you
It's
something."
the famous people room. It's where they keep the famous people.
Oh
The
yes, my
famous-
favorite part of the Haunted Mansion attraction, the famous people room.
So if I want to see Selena Gomez, is she gonna turn into a scary Muppet monster too?
I wonder if like you just walk in and you see like your favorite celebrity. So maybe Pepe was super into John Stamos. I don't know. It sounded like he was more into Ryan Gosling from the beginning, but then he turns into a weird Muppet. I feel like that's gonna traumatize children.
It's
Everywhere.
very short.
Yeah, but I hope it
Everywhere.
traumatizes children, Jack. I hope it does. I
We
want
can only.
I want people to fear John Stamos the same way I always feared just that Chucky doll, or some of the weird visuals in horror movies that you just kind of see.
Or that one being that lives in the sewer.
I'm like
The Ninja Turtles?
it's a truck driver. It's a truck driver in Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Mhm.
Oh, Big Marge. Big Marge.
Yeah.
Large March.
Large Marge. Marge.
I'm trying to think of other movies that just randomly had a scary ass character.
I don't like Freddy Krueger.
I mean,
Or
Jabba the Hutt
or
always kind of
Jigsaw.
freaked me out.
I don't like Slappy. I don't like Annabelle. I don't like the Nun.
You
It's
just
a
don't
bad
like
film.
Sure, it's okay. Well, and also The Nun is a bad film.
One of my friends, the second last Halloween party I went to,
Hmm.
one of it was my friend's landlord came and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna come to sexy nut." Oh, okay, here we go. What was he gonna wear? And he came and said with like the face paint at the nun instead.
I guess like there are not scary things that can freak people out. Like for example,
Oh yeah, the Scream movies. The sixth one's supposed to come out.
well, to this day, I am terrified of the Pokemon Drowsy because at a young age, I heard like the Pokedex entry for him, which I won't say here, but if you want to Google it and give your kids some nightmares, go for it. He eats dreams, and that's one of the more tame things he does.
Cool.
I mean, Drowsy's a scary Pokemon. I could do a whole video about Drowsy, but that is not this video.
Save it for October.
Right.
You know, I'm realizing I'm afraid of weird things. I'm afraid of pelicans. I'm afraid of Drowsy, the Pokemon. Don't give me that look, Jack. Pelicans are freaky. You haven't faced down with a pelican yet.
I have a fear of owls. I think owls are terrifying.
That's fair. Oh, have you
I
seen
just had- I
Ghost
just had-
Owls?
I just had a very traumatic thing with owls.
Hmm.
And I'm totally not having a flashback right now.
Oh no.
Flayed to flashback. Did I say flayed to flashback? Fuck my
Yes, you did.
grammar. Fuck.
Blade.
We'll
I
eat it
used
like
to
a
like
fish.
clowns. I used to like clowns until that one movie came out that's based off of a book, and I don't like clowns
I
anymore.
love clowns. I adore them.
I still like clowns. I think the scary clown like trope is kind of overrated at this point. My
Clowns was
opinion.
fine, but there
And I
was,
think he's hot underneath all that makeup.
as a kid, for
You
me,
think Phil Skarsgård is hot?
What was that, Jack? Oh, yes,
I agree.
absolutely.
yeah. No, for me, it was what got me scared of clowns was the Sarah Jane Adventures, like the Doctor Who spin-off show.
Mm.
There's,
Oh yeah.
there's the 2 episodes about the Pied Piper, and it's clearly a Pennywise like pastiche in that.
Mm.
But it's Bradley Walsh, who later he's in the actual show as
Oh,
a different character, but he's in that the Pied Piper whatever clown character.
Also,
And like
I'm afraid
because
of
Sarah Jane in that show was so scared of clowns,
Mm.
that like projected onto me as a kid. It's like, oh, here's this great hero. She's scared of clowns. Clowns must be scary.
I wonder if that's why I'm afraid of snakes, because I watched Indiana Jones as a kid, and he's like this actiony guy, and he's terrified of snakes.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's
I don't-
like in a lot of shows and stuff, or like sequels to movies. Where it's like, oh, this is the hero who bit the bad guy. They're really strong, and then the new bad guy comes and beats them to make them stuff look so scary. So, wow, here's this hero. Here's what they're scared of. So thus, transfer whatever properties that must be so scary.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
also-
want to look back through other kids' shows,
Yeah, my
figure out how
fear-
that correlates.
my favorite clowns also came with Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Mm.
And I don't like ventriloquist dolls because of Goosebumps. So, yeah.
Well, trucking on after the John Stamos scene, which hopefully will traumatize children for years to come.
Doubt it.
I know there's a scene where Sweetums pretends to be a train. I think there's still some more Will Arnett scenes. Is there anything before the next big song number that we want to like focus in on?
Oh, wait,
Madam Leota.
Beaker.
Oh yeah,
Beaker-
Piggy.
Yeah, Pagoda. Madam Pagoda.
I think you're right though, Cher, just to go back to what you said for a second. I do love that Beaker and Bunsen are just the two fucking busts, and they're like, I wish we would have had a better cameo, Beaky. This is bullshit.
That was actually my favorite because, like, I love those two too. They would be like my third favorite comedy duo. But that was because I used to love like Binky a lot as a kid.
I love that they're really kind of starting to cement that Beaker and Bunsen are in a relationship. In the ABC Muppets, they basically confirm it.
Oh,
But there is also a video online on the official Muppets channel where Beaker sings a love song to Bunsen Honeydew.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's not really like, you could argue maybe it's not a love song because the only lyric is meep meep, but like he's definitely holding a framed picture of Bunsen and like singing to it, so like I feel like there's something there.
okay.
But yeah, the Madame Piglota scene. I gotta be real.
Madam Pagoda.
This might be one of my few critiques of this because honestly, I love this special. It's very fun to me. Miss Piggy could have got a little more screen time in there. We could have got a little. We could have gotten a couple more jokes with Miss Piggy. Like
I agree with you too because I feel like I understood like out of all the Muppets like in this particular special why certain ones get the spotlight and others do not. But I feel like Miss Piggy is one of the main so much where it's just like underplaying her is it just feels like you're getting robbed. And I do agree with you. That's like my one big critique is being like Miss Piggy should have gotten more screen time for sure.
my immediate thought is Miss Piggy should have been Constance, the bride character. Because
Oh, that makes sense.
don't get me
yeah.
wrong, I like the human actress they got, but there's a lot of scenes where, like, the joke is, oh, her ex-husbands are, like, there and she's annoyed by it. Wouldn't that be much more funny if we had Miss Piggy's sass in those moments? Of her being, like,
Oh, yeah.
actually threatening the ghosts and maybe even hitting them?
Yeah. Yeah, if she could play the Wicked Witch and Wizard of Oz, I mean, remember that? That was really bad.
Right.
I gotta be real, I love every Muppets property. I do like Muppets Wizard of Oz.
That was kind of
It's funny! It's really funny!
Okay, like to me, to kind of like play devil's advocate with both of you, I thought the Wizard of Oz one was fine. I don't think it's the best Muppets special you could
Oh,
have
of course.
gotten.
I would never argue it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's just to play devil's advocate to make you both happy, being like, hey, I understand why Neil likes it, but I also do get Cher being like, it's not the best one. But I do agree that I feel like with Miss Piggy playing, it's Madame Pigosi, right?
Pagoda.
Pagoda, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I was playing Madame Words take two. I feel like it was, yeah, I feel like it was one of those where it's just like, it did get a lot of screen time taken away, and yet if she did play the bride, it would have worked. It would have worked so much better. Like, I do agree with you being like, there was nothing wrong with the actors playing her at all, but I feel like that was more of Piggy's role.
My only problem is I have no idea who I would replace Pagoda with. Like, I don't know what Muppet to put in there in her place. Maybe Janet? That would be kind of funny because she summons the rest of the Electric Mayhem.
Yeah.
And it would
Salvador.
be kind of funny if in Janet's voice they said the same dialogue that Pagoda had with the whole spirits, if you can hear my word supreme, show me by banging on your tambourine, y'all. Man.
Oh
That
no,
would be
like,
good.
That was good.
I think that would have been great. But I also would have not been mad if they picked like a live action person to
Oh yeah,
play
that'd
her
be fine
instead.
as well.
Yeah, just because it was such a short role, or it's just like, yeah, like like with her, like either way, it was just like it was just that much of a small role.
Well, a little bit of some theme park trivia here. That woman that comes in to clean the crystal ball, she is actually the daughter of the original voice, and not the original voice, but
Yep.
the original face model of Madame Leota. I believe the original voice was the woman who voiced Maleficent. If
Yes,
you
that's
can't
correct.
tell.
I think
Yes,
it's
and Lady Tremaine.
Aubrey something. Yeah, because she also did Lady Tremaine in the original Cinderella.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Fun
like,
fact.
that's a cool Easter egg, and I did like seeing the ghostly Electric Mayhem just hovering around Piggy. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wish that I feel like Piggy kind of gets a bad rap in the Muppets movies a little because she's not in Christmas Carol a lot. She's not in Treasure Island a lot. Her main biggest role, I would assume, is probably Great Muppet Caper, where she is one of the leads. And that's probably the best Muppet movie. And
So,
Miss
so
Piggy's
the
got some
only
good
one
jokes in that one, too.
right, the only one I disagree with you that I feel like the minor role fit was A Christmas Carol,
Mm,
only because The Christmas Carol is mostly about Scrooge, and since Kermit played, his,
Cratchit.
ah,
mm,
Cratchit, thank you,
Cratchit.
played Cratchit, that because in almost every, Christmas Carol version, the family of Cratchit is always a minor role. So I
mm,
felt like, even though I agree with you being like Miss Piggy deserves to be more in the spotlight,
mm,
especially since like I feel like with her, she has been cemented in the Muppets like universe as not only just the main but the main interest of Kermit.
mm.
But I feel like the only one that it would never work would have been the Muppet Christmas Carol, just because it is focused on Scrooge.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a minor character that fits into his story.
I agree.
Like it's Scrooge's world. You're just living in it.
I think
As
what
like
I think what I would have done, and obviously I'm not a screenwriter, but I think what I would have done, where you can kind of get your cake and eat it too, is I would have made Miss Puggy, my grammar today, Miss Piggy still Bob Cratchit's wife, but I would have added in a meta joke where she's pissed she doesn't have more screen time, so she dresses up as other characters and beats them up and tries to take their place, but then Kermit or someone gets her off screen. That's what I would
the
have do
only
to have
reason
the happy compromise there.
I, I I think the only thing I disagree with like the Christmas Carol part, right, is because A Christmas Carol is one of those stories that have been like pronounced where I don't think the humor would have worked in A Christmas Carol. Like if it was anything else, like I feel like she should have done that in Treasure Planet. Or sorry, not Treasure Planet, Treasure Island.
Treasure Planet's a good one too.
It is a good one, but since we're talking about Muppets, I did not mean to say Treasure Planet. I meant to say Treasure Island. Probably because that movie has it on my mind. But anyway, but I feel like that joke would have worked better in Treasure Island,
Mm,
where it's more flexible of a story versus like A Christmas Carol, where everybody knows how it goes. I mean, like it's about a
mm.
greedy old Scrooge who needs to learn his lesson by three goes. So I feel like with her being a meta character, it would have, especially since A Christmas Carol is one of those stories where it's like if you fuck it up, you fuck it up.
Well, they did that with Gonzo, though. They made Gonzo the meta. Well, I guess two meta characters would probably clash a little now
Well,
that I'm thinking about that, actually.
well,
You're right.
well, yeah, Gonzo's role only worked
Mm,
because not only is Muppets like a timeless, like universal niche, but also worked because he was basically the narrator.
Yeah, you're right. And he had Rizzo there for all the slapstick, so like I don't know, Muppets
Right.
Christmas Carol is just a really well made movie. So like to nitpick it like I am kind of feels like low hanging fruit.
It really is. But
But to
but no,
continue. Oh, go
I
ahead.
think we all agree that Miss Piggy in Haunted Mansion should have gotten more screen time, especially like similar to like Treasure Planet. I feel like Haunted Mansion is one of those where it's just like the lore could be open
Mm.
versus like it just being like a story that everybody knows for like years and years, like Christmas Carol. So yeah, I would say being like I thought she was fine, but I think this would have been the ultimate movie where it's just like, yeah, if you just change the roles a little bit, she could have gotten her,
Mm.
her moment in the sun, especially since she is such a big, character in the Muppets universe.
My
Very
my
sensitive.
my
She's
head
very
canon though.
diva.
My headcanon, though, is when Kermit told Miss Piggy, hey, you're not going to get a lot of screen time in this special we got to film. Miss Piggy responded to Kermit, all right, then you're going to have to dress as me. That way I have more screen time through you, Kermit. That's my
Eh,
headcanon about it.
Yeah.
right.
But moving
But
on to the big song, the big showstopper of this special. Um, Welcome to the Life Hereafter. This is where they do all the Haunted Mansion jokes. They do Dancing with the Muppets.
Beauty and the Beast. They do plenty of Beauty and the Beast references.
I have heard theories
We are-
that like people think originally, I believe once again it's from Tony Goldmark, that cosplayer I saw. Cosplayer, reviewer, Neil, your brain.
It's okay. That's why we're here.
I think he had a pitch where he was like, there's so many references to Beauty and the Beast in this. Maybe originally it was supposed to be a Be Our Guest parody called Be Our Ghost. And I think that's very funny. But I kind of like this better. I kind of like that it goes into the Muppets theme. I like that each one of the Muppets gets like a little verse.
right.
Did anyone have like a favorite Muppet has a ghost in this? For me, my favorite ghost from the Haunted Mansion. I've said this before, but it's the smallest thing, and I get that this is like not a big character, but this is my favorite, so fuck it. There were these paintings when I was going down the ride, and I don't know why, they just caught my eye, and I was like, oh, those paintings look kind of cool. And then these ghosts appear in the paintings and point guns at each other. Apparently they're the paintings of the duelists, and
Yep.
those are my favorite ghosts in the entire Haunted Mansion. I was like, that's such a cool thing. Ghosts that have to live in paintings, that's a cool idea. And I love that in this, the two Muppets they chose to be them are Sam and Pops.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sam is like the kooky old man. No, Pops is the kooky old man Muppet from Muppet Caper. But Sam really fits that whole I am a dignitarian kind of look. So
Yeah.
I love that they gave that to Sam. Did you guys have a favorite Muppet ghost?
Oh, that's kind of a tough one for me.
I think it's probably because it's not too much of a stretch for them to be a ghost. But Uncle Deadly was great in this, I thought. He's one of my favorite Muppets.
Uncle Deadly's up there for me too.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see they made him like the wedding guy.
Mm.
I feel like that is probably the funniest role you could have put him in for this, because his voice is so good.
And just all those wee jabs, like, oh, we're doing this again? Oh, okay.
Dearly beloved, this was not in the rehearsal. There was no rehearsal, Deadly. I will call special attention to one of my favorite Muppets who nobody likes, Chuck. Do you guys know who Chuck is?
Yeah, I know who Chuck is.
Just kidding.
So, if you watch the ABC show, Chuck has a bigger role. Chuck is this weird nerd hacker guy who's clearly making fun of the modern generation. And his puppet thing, and it's so creepy, but I love it. His puppet thing is his eyes don't actually have pupils. They're just a hole to blackness. And if you press a button on Chip, there's like this white dot, so his pupils go fully white. So whenever he says something creepy, he gets white pupils, and it's really weird. It makes me laugh every time they do it. I love Chuck. I also love the song they did, the Welcome to the Life Hereafter, da something rafters. It's like
I
a...
think
It was a good
I
song,
think
yeah.
that's like my favorite part. It's not really the ghosts, it's the song.
Kermit gets into it in this. This is where
Yeah.
Matt Vogel is
Yeah,
best as Kermit.
him and
Yeah.
Will, they both kind of
Mm.
the great MacGuffer as he is.
The Great MacGuffin.
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 Oh, MacGuffin, I believe it. I'm thinking
Yeah,
MacGuffin because Gravity Falls.
Right.
Because he's a MacGuffin, get it?
I just... Does he always have that red herring in his jacket pocket? What was the red herring's name? It had a name. Was it
I
Francois?
don't remember.
Me neither, but it was cute.
Right. But yeah, but I think that was like the like, because I do think that the song is like the main event showstopper one, and for good reason too. So like the ghosts I can't really pick because I thought they did like such a good job with who was who. But it was the song that got me a lot, where I was actually like singing it the first time I watched it, like for a week.
It's a very chill song with all of these weird visuals around, so it kind of contrasts in that way, but it's kind of nice. I like it.
Oh yeah,
Right.
and then the part where they had to stop in the middle of the song is like
You're
and it's
doom,
the
buddy.
right reference.
I
Right.
just love that Stantler and Waldorf in this aren't anybody.
Yeah.
They're just tourists riding the ride.
Oh, that's my favorite part because they are one of my favorite duels. That
Yeah.
wasn't the ghost that got me, it was them just like being tourists on the ride, doing their stick. Their stick will never get old.
with my candlesticks. With my candlesticks.
Also,
You're-
that cameo by Rizzo when he like mentions he has like one line in the song. That's the first time Rizzo has been in a live action Muppet project since Muppets Help Wanted, where he got that one joke where he's like,
That's Five Nights at Freddy's meal.
"What?
Muppets Help Wanted.
Oh, fuck. I've been playing Security Breach on stream lately. Well, it's horror related. Fuck it, we could talk about that. Most Wanted, the Muppet thing, where he shows up and honestly, he has one of my favorite jokes in the whole movie, where he's like, "Oh yeah, it almost seems like in the other movie we weren't focusing on classic Muppets characters. Isn't that right, Robin?" And Robin shows up in this too.
all the dead Muppet characters, yeah.
It is nice to see them. That one Muppet, I know he's voiced by, what's the guy's name? Jim Henson's son. I can't remember his name. It might be Brian Henson. But there's this duo. They had a lot of screen time in Muppets Wizard of Oz. I can't remember the main guy's name, but I remember the monkey is named Saw Manella.
Mm-hmm.
It might be Johnny something. I can't remember for the life of me, but he shows up in this too. Lots of cameos in this from older Muppets characters.
Right, which I think that's what I like about like this version of the Haunted Mansion is that it resurrects like a lot of characters that you haven't seen in a while.
Again, fitting all of the Haunted Mansion.
Was Bobo
Right?
the bear in this though? That big bear?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's in the song number as well.
Okay, I did not know much about Bobo until the ABC show, which really made me laugh, where it was like, "Man, me and Fozzie really had a great relationship. Oh yeah, you two were both bears. Oh yeah, I guess we were." Oh my gosh, I love Bobo. But moving forward, obviously none of this is scaring Gonzo. Because, Gonzo's a fucking masochist. He loves this shit. That's one of my... that's what works so much about him in Christmas Carol. Rizzo goes through all of this slapstick, and then Gonzo's, like, jealous of him. But like, I don't know. It's neat to peek behind the curtain of Gonzo a little because MacGuffin takes him to room 999 and we get to see what Gonzo is afraid of, which is that if he's not doing his stunts, if he's not like doing his role on the Muppet Show, no one will care about him and no one will like him, which is kind of a deep moral in the middle of this Muppet thing. Like, oh yeah, just remember you are what you love. Don't make yourself like love what you love, but don't make that your entire identity. That's like a really deep message. And it's just like thrown in and really effectively, where it shows Gonzo all old and decrepit. He's looking at his friends, he's missing them. Do you guys think that was good? Do you think it worked or what?
I think that's my favorite part of the special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
It's just basically like it fits like the entire message of the entire story, because in the very beginning he was very like you said, he was like, oh, I'm not scared of anything, but everyone's afraid of something. We not all of us admit it out loud, but deep down we are afraid of something, and that fear will get to us eventually. And all white lies lead to a black truth. So when you see that reflection of yourself, as they say, there's someone else behind that mirror that's staring right deep inside your soul, making you trying to come out and trying to admit to yourself that, yeah, I'm not perfect. Yeah, I am afraid of something. But you know what? I will use that fear and I will use my anxiety to take on the world. And that's what Gonzo do. And he goes to save his friend.
I do also like that the message isn't, oh yeah, Gonzo, you just shouldn't be doing these stunts. You do them too much. No, the message is more, no, you can still do your stunts, but prioritize your friend, my guy.
Right. I think like to play on like what Sherry said, because like I actually like what you said about white lights lead to a black truth, right? Is I think it also too shows being like you can be like it's okay to not be perfect. I feel like that's like the stress of it being like because we all get I think like the number one or like one of the number one fears that a lot of people have is irrelevancy and what lack that they do in life. And I feel like that's a legit fear of being like, oh, if he doesn't do his stunts, he's not considered valid or worthy. But it's like you don't need to like you can still like it's like what you said, like he can still do his stunts. It's just being like, but that's not what you're gonna be remembered for. Or that should be your focus and being like because I feel like the ultimate thing that people fear the most is failure in life. Being like, what did I do in life? But it's showing being like, hey, you don't have to be like this grand stunt master like Gonzo to have some success. It could be like the smallest things being like, oh, like even if you didn't get like big, you have your friends and your and whoever else in your life that'll remember you as as their friend.
I think also that should be a lesson to everyone that uses social media, especially on TikTok.
It's touched on much more briefly than the keep your friends close moral, but like I also like that this special says, hey, it's okay to be scared of shit. You don't have to be fearless. Right. It's okay. Jack, did you have anything to add?
Just on top of, again, I think it's the best scene in the special, is for kids as well, because, hi, we're all in our 20s. Muppets are focused at kids. But the idea of, oh yeah, there's magic on the ghost and the monsters. I know, with the main character, the one that you're focusing on, their biggest fear is missing out on this and not being with their friends, and it's like personal stakes rather than the werewolf's coming to get you. I think that's really good.
Yeah, I like it.
We do then still have
very Muppets
the pride at the end, the climax, but yeah, no, the personal stakes for the fear. It's great.
Very Muppets.
Right. I feel like also too it's kind of playing off of what Jack said of being like it's not only a lesson that I feel like kids can learn, but I feel like kind of playing off of both like what Jack and Cher said was the fact of being like, it's a good lesson for not only just kids, but as a good lesson reminder to adults. Because as adults, we can all say being like, you're never gonna figure out shit in your life. Being like, because there's this certain expectation, being like, oh, when you hit a certain age, you should have this, and this. Where this reminds you being like, hey, you have your whole life to to focus on the shit that matters, and not sitting here trying to figure out being like, so what's the point?
Oh yeah.
You know, being like, because your path can go many different ways, and that's okay. Being like example, being like, some people might have went to college for one thing.
Me, I'm dealing with it right now.
Okay, I wasn't sure how was talking with the cut off. Oh no.
It's okay, we'll truck on. I will add final thought about the Gonzo scene is it's also kind of an important and a dark message for kids. Because if you really boil it down to like Gonzo getting older, the message of that scene is, Gonzo, you got limited time with these guys. You need to spend it with them. You need to like really
YOLO.
prioritize your buddies, Gonzo. And that is a very important lesson. I would argue very important to learn at a young age. But yeah, truck it on. While this is happening, Gonzo, not Gonzo, Pepe. Pepe is being seduced by the bride, and we get all the lovely cameos from those Muppets. I have a question for you guys, and I will ask this again when Mel is here. But, you know, first of all, what's the name of that guy from the reboot Muppets movie, the puppet, who sings Am I a Man or a Muppet? They don't do a lot with him anymore, so I've completely forgotten his name.
I don't know what I want to say. It's not Eddie. It's
It's like a normal human name, which is why I forgot it.
Nothing to do for Big Bang Theory playing him.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't for the life of me remember it.
Wait, hold on. I think Jack and I we're searching.
Go, my pretties. Go to Google and find thy answers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Who was
Like-
that one Muppet?
We're trying, man.
Come on, New York Times.
Walter!
Walter.
There we go.
Walter!
Oh, New York Times is having some technical difficulties at the moment with their website.
I see. But yeah, Walter shows up. The taxi driver from Great Muppet Caper is there. Saul and I think it might be Johnny Fiamma might be his name. Maybe. But they're all there. I believe there's one other one. But then there's a penguin. Yeah, there's...
And I have a question.
I don't have a question about the bride dating the penguin, because obviously she's dating Muppets. Muppets work differently. I want to know what he
said.
Yeah, I do too. Because he's describing his death. So
and they're like, you can't say that this is a family show. I'm like, well, what did he say that was so inappropriate?
The two answers are either it was something dirty, like it was something sexy, or it was something gory.
Yeah.
Those are the only two things where they'd be like, what's the matter with you? You can't say that. What do you...
Yeah, because he was like, wait.
What are your guys' theories? Because first of all, how did a penguin get into the Haunted Mansion to begin with? But, my theory is going to be... I'm going to say it was dirty. I'm going to say it was something dirty.
Yeah.
Well, does it have to do with LARPing?
Maybe. I mean, roleplay. Who's to say? Man, role-playing with a penguin. That's trippy.
I have plenty of penguins.
I feel like that puppet... Look, I'm just going to say it. That Muppet died in a sexual accident, and I'm curious to know what it was. The world must know, Jim Henson. The world must know.
For the new Muppet murder mystery, happy time.
If I ever get the honor of interviewing someone from the Muppets, I'm gonna go, what did this penguin say? I want to know. How did it die and why was it inappropriate?
Go to the credits, look up the writer, track them down.
Oh, I will. You know I will. But yeah, there's a bunch of good gags here. Of course, Deadly finally gets his cameo. Cher, you back?
Mel.
Mel, you're back. Fuck. Sorry. Well, the reason I said Cher is back is because on my screen, in the capture, Cher disappears when Mel leaves.
It's okay.
No,
But
it's
I still want to know what that penguin said that was so inappropriate.
penguin.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
you
in
have-
the, and yeah, the song with the bride and Pepe and each of the
Yeah.
and then he was like wink, 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 wink.
Yeah, they're all describing their deaths. I believe Walter died by getting his neck snapped. What happened to the taxi driver? One of them just got killed by an axe, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's Constance Hatchaway. That's the name of the ghost from the ride. Her whole thing is hatchets, if you couldn't tell. But that penguin just goes, like, doing the generic Muppet sound. And then everybody gets offended, including Sal and Johnny, who are, like, some of the more vulgar Muppets. So, like, what the fuck did that Muppet say? How did he die? It had to be sexy or gory. Those are the only two options.
I'm sorry, guys. I keep getting distracted by the ice cream truck that keeps playing Pop Goes the Weasel.
I feel that. Cher, I don't know if I've ever related to you more with a sentence. Every time I'm just hanging out, if I hear an ice cream truck, my immediate focus will be like, oh, fuck this live stream. What is ice cream? I could be eating a SpongeBob pop right now.
I heard the ice cream truck, and then I remember that one episode of the Cuphead show with Mugman, and he got sick, but he wasn't sick, and then he was like obsessed with the ice cream man. He was gonna murder him, but then the tables turn on him, and he almost gets murdered by the ice cream man. But then the ice cream man ruined his story, and he attacks him like Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's actually like my
Gotta watch the
favorite
Cuphead show.
with Mugman. Of being like, that's a good one. And just jumps on it. It's a good show, but
Also, the devil is cute, and he's hot, and he's voiced by a Brit, and
We're
I
calling
love
a lot of people hot this episode.
They are hot.
They're noticeably not any of the Muppets.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that fat rat that pops up after the Pig Lotus scene, the one in the top hat.
Husky.
Well, he's actually a character in the ABC show, and he's really funny in it. I love his voice. God, I love that rat. Sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, back to the wedding scene. Pepe eats a bunch of spiders. Do spiders like grapes? Is that the joke? Because those grapes looked fresh, yet there were spiders all over them.
I don't know. I don't know if they were fresh or not.
I mean, they look fresh. Although, also, it is a haunted mansion, so if they are fresh, that's how'd they get fresh grapes.
Can be deceiving. You may be eating something that looks delicious, but it may not be actually delicious.
I also like that all you need to do to brainwash Pepe is to acknowledge he is actually a prawn. Like a jumbo king prawn.
That's all it takes. Yeah.
Well, she also called him Jumbo, which, like, there's a dick joke to be made with that. Maybe it was like, oh, yeah, she's saying that I'm, like, not small when everyone calls me shrimp. I think that's what they're getting at. But, like...
Yeah.
How does Gonzo save him? Like, I think he, like, busts in and just drags him away or something?
Yeah, something like that. And then he, like, twists the bride in her dress or whatever.
Yeah, there's a short action scene.
the best action scenes with the Muppets are either when Neil, come on, Piggy is on screen, or whenever they throw Gonzo at a taxi. Those are the best scenes.
And then, yep,
Sweet
they escape out
weasel.
window.
Yeah, they go out the window, they scare the fuck out of Darren Criss and his dog.
Up goes the weasel.
They go to leave. Oh, don't they have to, like, run through a bunch of the ghosts at first? Because I saw the Shining twins.
Yeah,
there.
I think they're like past like the ghost outside, and then like it's revealed that well, our net character is the Great MacGuffin.
Yes. By the way, in my head the entire time I was like, when I first watched this, I was like, this MacGuffin character isn't part of the fucking ride. But then I realized, oh wait, he's literally a MacGuffin to get Gonzo to the mansion.
That's why he's called the Great MacGuffin.
I mean, Will Arnett was pretty funny in this. I liked his joke where he sees Pepe and he starts talking in Spanish, and Pepe's like, oh, you know Spanish? And he's like, no.
And the subtitles are still there, depending now.
What are you doing? You're ruining the mood. Like, Will Arnett definitely, like, he had some good moments in this. I hope he pops up in more Muppet stuff. He really is good with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the ending... By the way, one weird thing I wanted to bring up. Kermit's all being upset in some of the scenes because he's like, Gonzo, you gotta show up to Halloween breakfast. Is that a thing? Is Halloween breakfast a thing?
Depends how crazy the party is.
I guess you're right, Jack. If they all got wasted and they wake up the next day, well, I guess we're having breakfast.
Yeah.
I can see
We're
the
gonna have
Muppets doing
pumpkin
that.
pancakes.
Actually, fun fact, just to flash back to that ABC show one final time, because a lot of people don't like that show, and I think it's hilarious. In that episode where it's kind of hinted that Beaker and Bunsen are a couple, the reason it's hinted at that is all the Muppets went to a bar and got really drunk with that one actor. What's his name? He's in Hangover. His first name's Ed, but...
Oh, is that Galifianakis?
No, the other guy. Ed something.
Ed Helms?
Ed Helms, yes.
The only reason why I know that was because he was in the Lorax.
I only know Zach Galifianakis is the Lego Batman movie.
And the only reason why I know about Zach Galifianakis is because of that one song by Hot Chili Ray, the Tonight song, where the man wakes up with the strange tattoo that looks like his ex-girlfriend and Zach Galifianakis. I'm weird.
Same. But, yeah. So, I have lost my train of thought. What the fuck? Oh, in that episode, they all get drunk at a bar, and the next day they all go into the office, and they are just wasted and can't work on the show at all. So, confirmed, Muppets do get drunk, so your theory might be correct, Jack. But, yeah, they get in the car with Yvette Nicole Brown, they start leaving, and then it's like, oh, hey, who are your friends? And yeah, it's the hitchhiking ghosts, which did not show up till the very end, in kind of poor CGI. I would have loved to see Muppet versions of them. But all in all, what are our...
What was that? What was with that screaming goat?
I don't know, but I kind of found it funny. Like, it worked better here than in Thor Ragnarok when they did the screaming joke.
Oh, for God, Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, Thor Love and Thunder, my bad.
Yeah, Love and Thunder.
You said Ragnarok too. We both fucked up this time.
I said nothing.
I know.
I was going to say, I think when the goat is there and it screams the first time, there, okay? That was kind of funny. Then they kept bringing it back. My legit thought, until you mentioned Love and Thunder there, was they did the screaming goat in Ice Age 5, like, half a decade ago, and it wasn't funny.
And I think it was like,
and they're still doing it now, and Love and Thunder.
I think the screaming goat thing was like back in like 2012, 2013.
It was around like the late, like
2013, I
20.
think. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going back to
but
YouTube Rewind in my head.
Here is why I will defend the goat in this. Because the joke is not that the goat is screaming each time. It's usually the reveal of the goat. Because in the like scene where like everything goes black and then they hear the scream, I don't know about you guys. My first assumption is, oh, it's Pepe. They're gonna reveal that Pepe is screaming like loud like a lady. And then it's revealed, no, it's this fucking goat that's just there. That
Yeah,
got a chuckle
like I
out
said,
of me.
it worked the first time.
Well,
Yeah.
the
And then the
second
rest of
time
it.
worked for me too because like it's part of the song. You can fly, or you can float, or you can scream just like a goat. That part I liked as well, just because it's part of the song. The last scene where they like show the Muppets logo and then the goat's in it. Okay, that wasn't as funny for me.
right, I feel like if we just only did it the 2 times, right, it would have been fine. I feel like the third
Rule of
time was
threes, you know, they probably felt like they had to.
Sure.
3 is the magic number, according to Schoolhouse Rock.
This time 2 would have been the magic number. I agree with Mel.
right. I
I
feel
hope
like
they're
if the
not.
rule of oh, go ahead, Jack.
I was just gonna. I hope they're not a recurring Muppet. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
need to see them as future project.
Yo, same. I don't want him back. It worked
Sorry
here.
about
Don't
that.
do it again.
Right. There's only so many gags, like, because, like, I think it's, like, something we talked about earlier, being like, I get, like, trying to stay, like, relevant and stuff, but just, like, the screaming goat hasn't been, like, a thing in a while.
Nobody
Let's be
cares. Nobody
And
cares.
it's like you said at the start, Muppets being timeless. There are some jokes
Yeah.
you can do that very heavily date things, though. So maybe just avoid those.
Right.
I will also mention that Ralph had some lines in this which I liked. Because
Yeah, that was
Ralph isn't getting a lot of attention in New Muppets too, but here he's one of the most popular ghosts. He's the organ player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got a Lego figure last year.
I'm just
I
glad that Ralph's getting some love because ever since Jim passed away, Ralph has not been used as much.
Right. I feel like with Haunted Mansion, I think, like, the one thing that we can all say is when it comes to, like, some characters that they have either used now or they just became, like, kind of obsolete over time, is that this was a good cameo to, like, show, like, the younger viewers, like, a lot of the Muppet cast that has came before.
A good reintroduction to some of those other characters.
Right, because without some of those other characters, Muppets wouldn't be as timeless as we all know it. Like, each Muppet plays a role in its relevancy.
I mean, that is pretty much the Muppets Haunted Mansion Christmas special. Christmas special. Jesus, Neil, I'm going to bed after this. I need a reset.
You sound exhausted.
I'm not. I'm fully rested, and that's what's most concerning. But, yeah, what are our final thoughts on the Halloween special, Muppets Haunted Mansion? Let's start with... I have all the power, I decide who speaks first. Let us start with Cher. You're first.
I'm never first.
Well, you're first now.
Okay, cool beans. Joy, it was cute. It was funny. I like watching it every year because I think it came out like almost 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think it's better than the Eddie Murphy version.
I agree. I'll go into my final thoughts. I liked it a lot. I kind of view it as kind of important, not because like it's super special or it like hit the heart in a certain way, but like just because the Muppets are kind of in a downfall right now. They haven't been around as much. Muppets Now happened, but besides that, the Muppets have been kind of silent for a really long time, and they haven't had a movie in theaters in forever. And this really feels like a return to form to me. Like, this felt like, even though it's shorter, it felt like a classic Muppet movie, which really got me in my heartstrings. So I love watching it, and I'm really glad we covered it. For my ranking, because we do rank things,
Oh, I forgot to do my ranking.
Well, you can do yours next. I'll go back to you in a second. I'll give it an 8.5. I did really like it. Well, okay, just an 8, because there are other Muppet things I would put above it. But I do really like it, and it has a special place for me. Cher, do you want to give your ranking before we get Mel's final thoughts?
Ocho.
8 as well, okay. Mel, can we get your final thoughts and ranking on A Muppet Haunted Mansion?
Christmas special.
Well, well, kind of similar. I do agree that the Muppets haven't been as much in the limelight, but this also shows that Muppets is a timeless thing that not many properties can achieve, right? And I feel like even though it's not a timeless one, like I feel like with this one, it's not going to be as timeless as a Muppet Christmas Carol, right? But I do think it was cute, it was spooky, and it was a better adaptation of the Haunted Mansion that I think we'll get so far, because the other movie hasn't come out yet. We'll have to see. But I thought it was fine. I will give it a 7, only because it's like, it's cute and it's fun. I don't think but I think that there's other Muppet ones that deserve a higher ranking for me.
I feel that. Jack, final thoughts and ranking.
Yeah. I enjoyed this, but I'm gonna clip a bit of what Mel said and just say it's fine. I don't
That's
think I
fair.
enjoyed it as much as the rest of you guys. Again, so animation guy, but I like animation. It's brilliant, but practical effects, the Henson Company, the Muppets are brilliant. What really annoyed me for this entire picture is it is so obvious for most of the film. It's just Gonzo and Pepe and Will Arnett on a green screen.
Right.
Okay, they have a door, they have a mirror, they have a few.
They have a couple
sets,
sets.
but none of the hallways are real. It took me so out of it. Will Arnett's going around with this candelabra that's clearly just got CGI fire on it. How hard was it to give them an actual candelabra?
I forgive it.
Little things. The other Muppet movies are brilliant for how practical so much of it is. And this is just, they're on a green screen for most of it, so I can't in good faith give it a particularly high score.
I'm with you. The only reason I forgive it for that, and this might add some context, this was shot in COVID times.
True.
Which I figured, with all the other ghost cameos, those can be filmed by the other celebrities anywhere across the country. That works. Okay. Giving it a wee bit more leniency with COVID. I think, the songs are fine. Well, the songs are fun, and all the other cameos and the other Muppets. Yeah, I was going to give it a 6, but okay, bearing in mind COVID issues, how that will have affected filming and everything, I'll bump that to a 7. I'll give it a 7.
That is fair. And, it's not perfect. It's not the best thing in the world. But honestly, when Muppets get to do Muppet shit, that's just always going to make me smile. And here we are. I think this is much better than Muppets Now, which is why I'm giving it a little bit of an extra nudge up to 8.
Right. I feel like it's one of those where it's just like, yeah, if you want to throw it on every now and again, it's fine. And especially being like, there have also been worse Muppet properties.
I mean, yeah, I struggle to say which one is the absolute worst. A lot of people hate Muppets in Space. I kind of like Muppets in Space, or From Space.
I understand why people hate Muppets in Space. Do I hate it as much as everyone else? Not really, but that's what I mean by being like, there have been worse. So I feel like Muppets Haunted Mansion is kind of a And especially like you do have to forgive it of being like it was made in COVID times because that was going to be before I was interrupted again and had to drop the call.
Mm.
Like my biggest grievance with it was the CGI, you know, versus like how I'm used to Muppets where it's like there's more practical effect.
Because the
But
Muppets
yeah,
is practical, the Haunted Mansion itself as a ride, it's famous for all the practical effects. The Pepper's Ghost,
right.
for the like dancing and
Part of me
falls,
wishes they would have just shot
the
some
hat
of it
on
there.
the Yeah, I mean, I understand how big thing with a lot of Disney rides is stay in the people bit. You're not meant to go out of the people bit because it's not meant to support your weight. So they probably couldn't. They'd have to like cut holes in the floor for the puppeteers and everything if they were to do that.
Right.
It would have been a whole extra thing. I'm sure this doesn't have as big a budget as some of the movies and stuff do. Of course, it's a special for Disney Plus. They have less money to work with, but compared to the Haunted Mansion and the Muppets, it's a step down in visual effects for both of them, I think.
Right. I agree. But I think we can all agree so far this was the better adaptation of Haunted Mansion that we'll get because the new movie has not come out yet. And I'm a little bit scared because like it's just like it like I feel like it's one of those instances where you have to see if lightning strikes twice. You know what I mean? Like lightning struck with the Pirates of the Caribbean film. But that doesn't mean every adaptation of a theme park ride should be a movie. So we'll have to see. But I think so far with its discrepancies and also like I think that's the other leniency is that this was a Disney Channel special or sorry, a Disney Plus special versus like if it was a theatrical release and they made it the same way it was, I would have given it a lower score. Even though I would have forgiven like the COVID times, but I feel like with it being just a straight to streaming movie, I feel like that's what kind of saved it from not being so abhorrent.
Yeah, like I don't think I could have watched this in a cinema on a big screen. Those backgrounds would not hold up.
Yeah,
No.
I agree.
But
I will say this about the Haunted Mansion movie. It could be great, and it very well might be great. But there will always be something in my mind like, what would the Del Toro movie have been? Have you guys heard about that? Guillermo del Toro briefly had Haunted Mansion. I wish he would have made it, but...
If it's anything like Pinocchio. Or
no, like I'm such a Guillermo del Toro fan. I haven't seen the new Pinocchio yet, but
I haven't either, but I am excited
yeah,
because I've heard so much good stuff.
Like, this is really good.
Well, as like someone who's a Del Toro fan, like I'm a fan of his, and I cannot emphasize that enough. That might be another topic, but I feel like if he got his hands on the Haunted Mansion, I feel like he would have done it justice. Just lately with Del Toro, what a lot of people don't understand is that because like the way he creates his films, it's really the production companies that have been like causing like part of the reasons that he keeps dropping said projects is because he'll be like, hey, production companies, I have a good idea. Production companies, well, you got to take out this, this, and this. Well, I'm dropping it. Give it to someone else.
Yeah. Again, Del Toro's The Hobbit. I'm so gutted we didn't get to see that.
I know. So many projects that I'm hoping that he either touches again or that if he doesn't touch them, like more source material. But I feel like he would have done, like, at least from what I heard from the Pinocchio movies, being like he can do like lighthearted. It just has to be done his way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, it got nominated for an Oscar, and I'm hoping it wins.
Oh, it probably will. Oh,
but we can hope. We can hope.
Right, we can hope. But I feel like with the Muppets, I feel like I do agree with Neil on one aspect of being like the Muppets, as much as it is timeless, where I feel like even if they take a back burner for a bit, that they'll always be known as long as humans still exist. But I do feel like it has been a long time since we gotten a Muppet special at all, to where that's why I didn't give it like a lower score too, because it's like, you know, it did give me kind of a nostalgia of like back in the day where, you know, we were getting like Muppet Christmas Carol Treasure Island, all that shit, like when they were really on the top of their game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it was nice on a nostalgic way. Is it the best one? No. Is it the worst one? Absolutely not. I feel like it's one of those where it's just like, if I were to give it anything higher than a 7, I would just be lying. Because I can't always let nostalgia,
Mm.
dictate my opinion. Because just because I like a specific, like a specific thing does not mean like it's not on a pedestal for actual serious critiquing.
Well, with
That's
that,
true.
I think that's all our final thoughts. So,
Yeah.
how about we go into plugs and stuff? Mel, you haven't been in it in a while, so you go first. You go first with your plugs.
All right, so there is a new thing since the last time I was here. I'm officially on Letterboxd now.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so my username on there is a little bit different because I'm struggling with finances, so I couldn't update to the pro to change it. But technically, my username is ImperfectVanit without the Y. Yeah, it was this dumb thing where I did not pay attention, and because I need money for other things like rent, I just haven't updated to pro to edit it. So it's literally imperfect Vant. It's you not with or without the Y, but it's everything else on Letterboxd, and I'll send you all that in the chat below. Then of course all my other social medias are basically the same. Follow me on Instagram at imperfect_vanity. It's the same on TikTok, even though am hopefully, if things get better, I'm hoping to do a total rebrand on my TikTok more specifically. But it's anywhere that you can find Imperfect Vanity or Imperfect_Vanity. That's where you can find me. Only social media I do not use is Facebook. So good luck.
Fair. Jack, you want to go next?
Sure.
You got to plug
Hello,
that
Commander.
Attack on
I'm
Titan
Jack of all
reaction.
trades. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Jack of all trades. If I be link to that will be in the description below for my channel. Had a bit of a technical hiccup the past few weeks. My laptop, my computer just died. The hard drive failed, so I lost tons and tons of files. My 10 favorite movies of the year video, that's gone.
Aw.
Movies, anime, and cartoons, those were all mid-edit. Those were all gone. So I need to re-record those now. But no, at the moment, My Hero Academia, I had caught up, and then this happened, and now I've fallen behind again. So, reactions to those 2 episodes a week every Monday. Those are coming out. Attack on Titan, well, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure just finished. All those videos are live. Attack on Titan, we got the penultimate episode of the show. Yeah.
We should do anime stuff together, Doc.
The penultimate episode came out on Friday. I reacted to it. I cried once. I almost cried twice, but my flatmates came and banged on the door to tell me to shut up. So if you want to see that, that's out on my channel now. And in the not too distant future, after My Hero Academia is wrapped up, we'll be doing Made in Abyss Season 2. Speaking of things that make me cry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's it. That's where I'm at.
All right. Sher, are you ready to plug? I notice you're muted, so if you need a second.
Oh, I know. I had to mute because my dogs kept barking in the
Oh,
background.
fair.
I have 4 German Shepherds, so. Hello. It's me. Happy New Year. So you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I guess it's my first and last name for my Facebook and Twitter, and then my Instagram is share_from_2000, which is also my YouTube channel. Yes, Mel, I have a YouTube channel. I never told you about that.
How dare you hide this from Mel? How dare you?
Yes, I have a YouTube
I
channel.
haven't talked to Sher earlier.
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel, share_from_2000. You could probably guess what year I was born in.
1972?
I also have a second YouTube channel called Share Your Creations. It's basically my nickname, SHER, Your Creations. It's all combined together. And yeah, on my first YouTube channel, I did, I think the last time we spoke, I already uploaded Rise of the Guardians. I did my thoughts on Mulan, and about a week or two ago, I just did my top 10 favorite Tara Strong characters because she celebrated her 50th birthday, and I love Tara Strong. And yeah, I'm honestly don't know what I'm gonna do because I might do. I'm obviously it's gonna be more top tens because I don't really have time to do my thoughts on because I'm in the middle of school. But probably maybe another musician. I might do like Britney Spears or Imagine Dragons, Avril Lavigne, Taylor Swift. But I do have a backup if I can't do those videos. I actually decided that I'm going to read. So it might be a new thing called Share Reads. I did my very first one with Twas the Night Before Christmas, so I might read some Disney classics. If that's your alley, cool beans. If not, you can watch the other videos as well as my second YouTube channel. Messy.
Hey, y'all.
Neil, your plug.
Yeah. Thank you, Jack. Hey, welcome. Hi there. My name is Neil, in case you weren't aware. It's not easy being green, but you know what could make it a lot easier? If you went over to twitch.tv/Dr. Neiltopus and gave me a follow, because, look, speaking of Jim Henson, have high hopes for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Looks really good. Very excited that they're making the animatronics. I've been playing Security Breach lately. And let's just say the gameplay of that is... we got some rage videos for you on this channel if you'd like to see them. And I will likely be streaming Security Breach again later tonight. I streamed it yesterday. I'm finishing it up. I'm almost done with it, thank God. But yeah, after we finish Security Breach, we might be doing Octodad. We might be doing a couple other fun games. I'm hoping to do another Let's Play of Edith Finch with a different person, because I love exposing people to that game. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming. Hopefully more videos in the future. And my cat is in the background, so I'll plug him. That's Mortis. I don't know if he's in shot. You know what? I'll get him in shot. There he is. There he is. So, yeah.
Let him do a shot.
He's scratching himself. He's cute. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please go to Twitch if you would. And now we are going to finish on... Well, actually, I have nothing to finish on, so I'm at...
Oh, wait, what's our next review? What's our next review?
Next is either... I guess it's up to us, the order. But we got Night at the Museum still in the can. We still got that coming. And Little Mermaid. So one of those two will be next. We'll decide off screen. But yeah, I have nothing else to add. So I'll just do one more...
Good goat impression.
What happened?
Cher just screamed like a goat.
Don't do that again.
Well, hey, you know what? It's a jump scare at the end. So, yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's, Jim Henson. Kill it. Don't watch Meet the Feebles.